So I'm gonna clean that up, and I just stuck his ass outside. I don't know what the hell's going on with him. If he's doing it because he's having an attitude problem, because he's mad at us.
You know I'm streaming right now, right?
Well, I'm sorry, but this is family business and it's serious shit. So
given. Done 10 minutes. Wait time to see who else is gonna make it in. And looks like it's just us for right now. So that's gonna make it considerably easier. Welcome to the Eyes of the Fallen, and a new campaign that I plan on running. We'll have to decide on times and everything, but to start, we're gonna go over some of our rules. For me personally, as a dungeon master, I have a few rules that are my set in stone, the things that will not change, and if you break them, that is your one chance, and there will be no chances after that. I take these rules very seriously, and I expect all of my players to take the rules just as seriously as I do. So in that, rule number 1, everybody is allowed to have fun, but your fun can't be imposing on another person's fun. And what I mean by that is, if you find fun in being chaotic and starting fights and running around killing people while everyone else enjoys getting to know the people, getting to know the lore, and understanding the world that they're in, you can't just go around killing everybody senselessly. There's going to be no murder hobos in this game. That's not a game that I want to run, and I found a lot of the times that's not a game that other people want to run in. So we're just going to keep it clear of all murder hobos and murder hoboing. Rule number 2, whenever you are in the game, make sure that you're only using the information that your character would know. You're going to hear other people's perspectives. Just going over rules for session 0.
Alright.
Rule number 1, your fun doesn't trump anyone else's fun, so no murder hoboing. The usual.
Fair enough.
Number 2 was... Fuck, how did I lose it while I was talking about it? I just got back on my ADHD meds, so...
You just said act according to your own character's information, given how much they know about it.
That's right. Metagaming, it's not fun for other players if you know everything about the other player's backstory and you try to use that in-game. It's not fun for me as the DM if you go into every situation with absolute knowledge about everything. Now, there will be things that your character does know. There will be things that you can find out as your character. Just, if you hear something, that's player knowledge. If your character hears something, that's character knowledge. Number 3, drama is fun when it's in the game. It's no longer fun whenever it comes out of the game. So if your character and another character have beef with each other, or there's some drama going on, remember that this is just a game. There's no need to take it out of character, because out of character feelings should stay out of character, and in character feelings should stay in character. If there comes a time where there's something that upsets you personally, or there's something that you see that strikes a chord with you, let me know and we can all talk about it. If you don't feel comfortable talking about it with everyone else, let me know and I can deal with it. I'm not going to be able to read everybody's mind as much as I would like to. So we have to communicate. Which leads into number 4. If there comes a time in the game where I hit on something that triggers or is triggering, if a voice, a action, or something triggers you privately, you can send me. We have an X and O system where if you send me an X, I will stop the session there and we can discuss what happened, figure out why it happened, what we can do in the future, and how to help you currently in the situation. And then send me an O that tells me we've figured things out and everybody feels comfortable, so we can go ahead and move on. It's something that I've just started introducing, so it's something that I'll work on throughout the game and throughout various sessions. But if you are triggered by something, I don't want you to feel like you can't say anything because everyone else is having fun. In those situations, I want to know and I want to do what I can to help. Sometimes that won't necessarily mean that you won't ever see it again, but I can figure out ways that we can make it less triggering, or so that your character isn't directly involved in it. 5, no violence against children. That's something I have in every single campaign. Children will not have violence put against them. I don't like it. A lot of people don't like it. It's icky. If you want to do that, you can find a different campaign. And number 6 is the last of the big solid rules. Character relationships. If you want your character to be in a relationship with either an NPC or a PC, make sure that you yourself talk to the person, whether that's me running the NPC or the player characters, talk to the players about your character's feelings and how you personally would like to make a relationship between your two characters. This is a relationship between characters, not necessarily between people. So keep that in mind. Also, we have to respect if a player says that they do not want to have their player character be in a romance or be in any kind of relationship, because that is their character. We can't force relationships. We can't make you be in a relationship. So respect whenever they give you the red flag on that. Now, those 6 are my hard rules, the ones that are going to be set in stone. I do have a few that are more bendable that we can discuss more in depth should the situation come up, but I do have them in place in case something happens. But for the first of the more bendable rules, in this campaign, I am looking for this to be a more good campaign, more ran on the good alignment, but I view alignment less as a box and more as a sliding scale. There are going to be times when there's going to be morally gray options. There's going to be morally dark options to pick from. There will be times where there are no good choices to pick from, where something bad is going to happen regardless. In that, keep in mind this. The goal of this game is to be morally good, but that doesn't mean that it has to stay that way. Bad choices leading to consequences is something that happens within the game. This is more of a living world than it is a set video game. So try to keep that in mind. Your actions will affect your alignment. So you can say that you start off as chaotic good or chaotic neutral, but if you start making actions that lean more towards the evil alignment, there could be an alignment shift that happens, and there are possible consequences that go along with that. 2, whenever we are playing, if there is a conflict between characters, I do allow PvP. It is not to the death. So if you and your characters decide that there's going to be a fight, it is more of a duel and not a battle brawl to the death. If it begins...
So you mean we have to state that it will be, what was it again, non-lethal attack?
Yes.
Okay.
If things start to get out of hand, then I will step in, but I don't want to rip away player agency. But also, in that same vein, both players have to be on board for the battle. So if one person says that they want to duel and another person says that they don't want to, then there's no duel. There has to be consent between parties. 3, whenever we are running the session, crosstalk is something that happens a lot at pretty much every single table. We're going to try to minimize that as much as possible. If you are wanting to communicate with another player, feel free to do it in the voice chat. Or if you need, you can do it in the roleplay chat. Either way works. Just we're going to try to minimize as much interruptions as possible so that people feel like they have a chance to have a voice. Nobody is the main character. There's no chosen one. There's no one person who's going to be the person that is in the spotlight. Everybody deserves to have their spot, so we're going to try to give everybody their spot as much as possible. If it becomes a issue, then we may have to go to where everybody mutes and has to ask for permission during game. I don't want it to go to that, but if it becomes a big enough issue, then we will do what we need to make sure that it's not.
Hold on a second. I need to confirm something. Does anyone here plays a sorcerer? This is related to it, so I need to know.
So far, it looks like no one is.
I'm not playing sorcerer.
Right?
I'm playing Bard,
That's
so
probably going. Okay, that should probably allow us to pass that rule without trouble, so that's done.
All right. And then then last of my more flexible rules is if there's a situation where your character would do one thing, but you as the player would do another, you do have agency in saying that your character wouldn't do that thing. If, however, you want to go into what your character would do, remember rule number 1. What your character can and would do cannot be something that would break the fun for everyone else.
Oh, Eris, I asked the question because, well, sorcerers are, well, in lore wise, they are kind of tend to be feel like chosen one because they innately have their magic and everything else. They kind of feel themselves as kind of maybe a Sailor Moon or other kind of national characters, maybe a Avatar. So I just want to know, maybe someone might have decided to play sorcerer because of that kind of expectations. And I was going to suggest if they want to play as a sorcerer, instead of as a chosen one, I might have suggested them to play as a cursed one, opposed to that as kind of a much different revolving on the story for that. But that's another entirely on something else. So carry on, Caleb.
All right. And then to go into, this is also quick and dirty for session 0, but to go into what the idea is for this campaign, currently you guys are all going to be members of a magic item hunting guild. This guild seeks to find powerful artifacts, and instead of letting them lay to rest in ruin with the creators of the artifacts or with the wielders that once had them previously, you are sent to find, bring back, categorize, itemize, and store these items so that others of more dubious persuasion cannot have hold over them.
Knowing that I haven't finalized my character's backstory, am I allowed to change it?
Yeah.
Dope.
You guys are just now getting this information, so feel free to add to your character backstory as you wish. The organization is actually known as the Eyes of the Fallen. So you guys can all put down that you are members of the Eyes of the Fallen in your character's notes and a backstory. As for information on the realm and what you can write down for character backstory wise, this is set in Forgotten Realms, so you can use Forgotten Realms cities, lore, information from that. If you want to create a smaller village that your character could be from, I'm completely fine with working with you on that. As far as the location of this guild, it is set in Waterdeep.
Got it.
Okay, so have you sent the link for us to enter the game, or?
You already have it.
I already have it.
You made Brimlock in the game. Also, we will be using Above VTT for this, so if you don't already have that extension installed, it works for Firefox, Opera, and Chrome. So you can grab that real quick. It is going to be our VTT, and when we have everybody here, because I know one person has not much of an idea about this specific one, but I have 3 players here who are well versed in it at this point. But let me think. I will tell you that there is a main antagonist faction that you all would know of.
You mean like a rival faction?
Yes. Being members of this guild gives you this knowledge, and you would know that you are racing against time and racing against a group known as the Hand of the Betrayed. They are a similarly magic item hunting organization, though their means of finding and means of capturing these magic items tend to be of a darker side. You guys are currently initiates and will soon be sent out on your first excursion to find a specific magic item, bring it back, and ensure no one of that faction follows you back. Alright, and I think that is going to be everything for our session 0. We can all come together and figure out a time that works best for everybody, and
So I kind of wrote down the rules in group chat, so I need to know. Can you look up for it? So if you can see I missed up any rule, I mean.
they look good. Alright then. We can go into the main channel chat and everybody post times that work for them and get a consensus of when would work. Since we have several people that are going to be out for our first game, it won't be today, but we can have that set up soon. If not today, it could possibly be as soon as next week.
I would personally like to not wake up in the middle of the night to play Dungeons and Dragons, especially if this is going to be a new campaign that I would going to join. That's just my personal preference.
Yeah, we can set it more
'Cause if it's
towards
gonna be on a-
afternoon-ish.
For you guys, so that would be morning for me, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
Because when we do Branches of You, it's morning for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
morning for us, but it's super
Okay.
hyper uber morning for you.
It's
Yeah,
actually
it's
around. It's almost 7 p.m. for me actually. It's night time.
Huh.
Time
yeah.
zones, I hate them.
Yeah, they don't work. They're not meant for international players. But we'll definitely find a middle ground because if we're going to do this like on a Saturday, for me, a Saturday, a Friday for you guys, I definitely would rather do it in the morning than wake up, like do it at like, for me, a 7 o'clock start. So I'm not waking up at like 2 o'clock after a 5 hour shift at work, if that
Fair enough.
is understandable.
So should we
That
do
makes
this
sense.
at 4 in the morning for the Americans? Yep, we'll definitely be.
If I make that if I can make that sacrifice, I'm sure you guys can too. I'm joking, of course. Well, obviously, this is a discussion to be had and to figure out. It doesn't have to be decided right this second.
Yeah. We can have that discussion in the chat with everybody involved because I don't want to set something and then someone tells us, "Oh, that doesn't work for my schedule." So we can all come together and get a group consensus when everybody's gonna be in. Otherwise, I think we are good for this session 0. Does anybody have any questions for me about the game, about theme, or any of the rules?
Would making a character that kind of falls more into like an intellectual type work for the campaign?
Yeah.
Dope. Because I've got a
Yeah,
lot of. I ended up building my character as a lore bard, and he has a lot of proficiencies in like history, religion, shit like that.
Yeah. This is specifically finding lost artifacts, so having someone knowledgeable about lost artifacts would be helpful in the Lost Artifact Hunting Guild.
Fair enough.
yeah.
Is it alright if I share my backstory if it makes sense?
Sure.
So my character is Seymour Seaborn. He is a variant Asima rogue swashbuckler. But he doesn't look like an Asima. He looks more akin to a sea elf or a water genasi, depending on who you talk to. So he is the grandson of the sea god Deep Sashilas, born to a human father and a sea elf mother. Seymour was raised by the sea. He loved to sail with his father on his fishing boat and help cook with his mother. Was born and raised in Tashala around the sandy coastline. He would be hired by the Guildmaster of the Eyes of the Fallen as a captain of a weapon-equipped cargo vessel called the Blushing Albatross to travel across the seas to find to transport these artifacts from far off places. Does that sound alright?
Definitely works. Let me know if your parents are living or dead. Also, other thing, I can't believe I almost forgot about this.
Will do.
Feel free, whenever you are writing your backstory, feel free to get in contact with me if you need any information about Forgotten Realms lore or anything that your character would know. And I would like to have 3 allies and 3 enemies. Just 3 names with description of like age, race, and sex, along with why they are allies and why they are enemies. It doesn't have to be anything as concrete as this is my best friend for my entire life. I have only known them my entire life. Or, like, this is the person who killed my father. It could be someone as simple as, this guy was kind of rude to me and I never quite forgot it. Or
Uh,
I used to play with this kid down by the coastline and like he was all right, but he wasn't like my best friend. Just something that you can give me NPC wise that I can help use to enhance roleplay. Those that are part of my New Blood and my Legend run are familiar with that, since I like to use their NPCs that they give me against them occasionally. So
I have a problem here. I can't seem to join to the game with the character I made for it. I have currently 4 characters. 2 of them can be used, but the other 2 cannot. One of them is the one that I made for it.
That's because it's already added. What you gotta do is you gotta access it through the character.
yeah.
You can't access it through the link.
Hold on, wait. How am I going to roll for the dices?
So what you gotta do is, are you on PC or are you on mobile?
Mobile.
I
mean, kind of both, but I'm only able to open the link from the mobile.
Just open the app itself. Do you have the app for D&D Beyond?
App. Sure.
Then just go into like your character section and it should be right there.
Okay, and
whenever you're on your character sheet, it'll let you roll the stats and automatically do the math for you.
Hold on, so you mean I need to roll from here in this order to decide the outcome of the dice roll in the game?
Yes.
From my character sheet, you mean? And
yes.
How am I going to move my character?
So if
you will need to use a laptop.
Yeah.
Or a computer.
So on your computer, if you log into D&D Beyond on your computer, it should take you to your campaigns and characters that you made.
And how are we going to see the map? Do you have to open it when the time comes, or like is it not something we can just take a look every time we want to?
It is something that I have to open.
I see. In that case, we probably don't have any problem.
Some reason it's having an error. Let me see if that fixes it. Nope. Why? Is it because I need to go into my extension? No? Hmm. Well, right now I'm having some issues with above VTT, but hopefully whenever we really start, can actually use it. But whenever we start using above VTT and that, we will need, it's something that I will have to go and go in and be part of first. It does that way so that you don't have like a bunch of people or your players going in and messing around on the map whenever the game isn't happening. So I will have to figure that out. All right. So I'm gonna work on getting this fixed if I can. Oh, there. It's fixed. Wow. So I'm gonna be working on building maps, uploading, importing, and getting everything set up for this. There's some things that I will have to go through for your guys' characters individually, but otherwise, I think we are good to end this here for right now while I get something figured out. So feel free to write down times and things that are going to work for you in the main out of game chat under the Eyes of the Fallen, and I will see you guys in that. I have to go solve something real quick. So
Like why real quick? How long do you exactly mean it should take for you?
by real quick, probably 10 to 12 hours, not exactly sure. So
That's your definition of quick?
I'm from the Midwest. That's just a Sunday drive for me.
Jesus.
How long's a Sunday drive for you, Caleb?
10 to 12 hours.
As
Yeah.
someone also from
That-
the Midwest,
Yeah, that
that's
sounds
right.
about right.
Yeah, see?
As someone from the central coast of Eastern Australia, New South Wales, a 12-hour drive will probably get you to maybe the Gold Coast if you're lucky, if there isn't traffic, or Melbourne give or take, going to a different capital city. Well, technically, Gold Coast isn't a capital city; it's an tourist attraction city, but it's one of the largest cities in Queensland. So yeah, a 12-hour drive is
Well-
to get to another